Hello, we are Team Binary Brains from Libya. 2 months ago, there were a pregnant woman called Salma who was counting the days to finally meet her baby. And in one of the nights, Salma gave birth. But unfortunately, the baby was born prematurely, and the baby had to stay in an incubator. The parents were worried because the baby has 25% chance to die. Unfortunately, the baby died, and the family went into real deep grief and had this trauma that might let them afraid to experience such a thing again. And on the other hand, the nurses were under so much stress taking care of several babies with the same condition. Have you ever experienced such a problem? Well, we had. We have three relatives who died due to this problem. So in dedication to their memory, we promised to solve this problem. Did you know that yearly 50 million babies are born prematurely and that 12% chance to get a premature baby in each pregnancy, which is huge, and that 2.6 million of them die each year due to avoidable problems such as warmth control, breathing difficulties, lack of real-time alerting, and infections. In Libya, Tripoli's University Hospital has 35 incubators. Around 20 of them are out of service due to the lack of expert nurses. And in Sabha, 73 babies died in just 3 months for the same reasons. So we are suggesting the Smart in ICU, the neonatal intensive care unit. Our solution will be a wireless smart band worn by the baby, containing all the sensors that require skin contact, which are the heart rate, blood pressure, and blood oxygen levels. This band will transfer the data via Wi-Fi to the incubator. The incubator has an IR temperature sensor used to measure the neonatal's temperature by directing it on his body. The incubator will collect all the data and send it to the hospital's cloud server via 5G. The cloud server is driven by data analysis AI. The AI will analyze the data and send instructions to the incubator if the oxygen or the temperature level needs to be adjusted. The incubator has a mechanism to auto-adjust the oxygen and the temperature level within itself using instructions received from the AI. Our solution also updates the existing alerting system by making the use of the 5G's ultra-reliable low-latency connection. The AI will analyze the data. Once the received reads, for example, the neonatal's temperature exceeds or gets below the average, the AI will immediately alert the nurse. The nurse will receive this notification via smart band. The smart band will show the exact number of the incubator, so the nurse knows exactly where she's headed. How would this solution save babies? It would reduce infections by reducing the human interaction and relying more on automation. The automation will also help lift off some more pressure from the nurses who will take care of it. The data is then collected to be used for future study to solve problems such as sudden infant death and will also be used to improve the efficiency and reliability of the automation process. Who are the funders? We decided to divide the project into 3 phases. In each phase, we'll focus on certain funders. The first phase will be developing a cheap yet upgradable incubator. Its development costs are the lowest compared to the other phases. Once this phase is completed, we'll gain the public trust, which will help us in gathering donations from the public, and the people. And the government will be more encouraged to fund our next phase, alongside the revenues we made from selling the incubator to the hospitals. Donate and help in saving lives. We believe that nothing more deserves a chance to live. Who knows, maybe this baby will become a great scientist, artist, or leader. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Choppy audio, but a spectacular technology and a wonderful presentation. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to our judges, Nafez and Sunita, for questions.
I'll just go ahead very quickly. This is great. I probably just want to hear a bit more about 2 things. One is, is the primary problem lack of incubators, or is the primary problem trying to understand why these premature births are happening? The second question is just around the technology side. This sounds very high tech, which is great, but how scalable is it in a sort of a low resource environment? I've never been to Libya. I don't know about sort of Libya, but this even sounds like even here in the UK, this sounds like something that's very, very high tech. And how easy would something like this be to maintain?
Well, for the first question, the problem is the lack of expert nurses who would use these incubators. But in our solution, the incubator can be used by any nurse since they're smart enough. And for the second question, the background of the Libyan technologies, right?
Basically, just in terms of infrastructure, like something like this seems very high tech, requires 5G, IoT. So I mean, for example, I have more experience in a place like Jordan. Something like this would be very hard to implement because the 5G network isn't very reliable.
Yeah, that's why we divided the project into 3 phases. The first phase is developing the incubator itself, and then the second phase is the 5G and AI because they require time and training and infrastructure. So when we are completed from the first phase, our product would be already in the market and we would gain trust, and the government is already supporting us. So that's the thing. But the infrastructure is quite good in Libya.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, and congratulations on this idea. Just a very quick question from my side to stay within time. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your team. I think as Nafis outlined, it's a very technical solution in terms of all the different technologies, but also from a medical perspective, I think would require quite a bit of expertise. So can you tell me a little bit about the group that you've put together to take this project forward?
Well, we contacted with the Hawaii representative in the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research in Libya. We presented the project for them, and he liked the idea, and he showed it to the Ministry and the Authority of Scientific Research. We have an Authority of Scientific Research in Libya. It has 24 teams of scientists and experts, and they're willing to help us. We contacted to them.
Terrific. Thank you so much.